Hey guys, what up? Mike here, Laker Talk. So let's talk about DeMar DeRozan. I want to make a case for why the Lakers should go after DeMar DeRozan and why we should end up paying him max money, whether we feel he's worth max or not. That's the going rate. That's the market rate. That's what he's going to get so that he is a max money player. And I'm going to give stats. I'm going to back it up with stats and show you and prove to you or give you some logical reasons, some thoughts on why he is worth it and why he's a good fit for us. So I was chatting back with somebody on Twitter the other day. He was like, Mike, why? He goes, can you post a video on your thoughts on Harrison Barnes and the Lakers are landing Harrison Barnes? Listen, I don't want Harrison Barnes. Okay, now that we have the #2 pick, we're going to draft Brandon Ingram or Ben Simmons, right? A small forward in those two. We don't need Harrison Barnes. We don't need those guys playing behind Harrison Barnes, and Harrison Barnes is nowhere near worth max money on what he's asking for, okay? He gave up $16 million a year. He rejected an extension that was going to pay him $16 million a year for 4 years, okay? It's like a $64 million deal, something like that, from Golden State. That means he won close to $20 million a year. Hells no, all right? So even at $16 million a year, he's a little bit too much, right? He's around $10 to $12 million a year, if you ask me. He's not a scrub, but he's not somebody that I want on my team, especially now that we have the #2 pick. If you've seen my video, like a couple videos ago, I talked about the Lakers free agency. My thinking is this: we have to go after one max player and then fill in the roster with nice, decent players at cheaper prices, okay? That means we go after one max player. When you look at the players that are available, you got Whiteside out there, you got DeRozan, etc., right? Drummond, he's a restricted free agent. He's going to sign back with Detroit. Out of all the available free agents, DeRozan seems like the best fit, okay? The game is moving into a small man's league where you have athletic, 6'7" type players, and where you can fill in your roster with just serviceable bigs, okay? Like the way OKC is doing, like the way Golden State is doing, like the way the Cavs are doing, like Toronto is doing, okay? So DeRozan is available. Again, I know a lot of people falls into the camp of like, Mike, I don't want to tie up our cap money with somebody like DeRozan. Listen, we are not the Timberwolves. Okay, we are not these teams that have 4 or 5 lottery players and you just end up winning around 25, 26, 28 games for the rest of your life. No, we are the Lakers. If there is a big time free agent that's available, we're going to go after them. And right now we should, barring that we have all this cap space, which we do. We're set up in a perfect situation to bring in somebody like DeRozan, pay him $20 or $25 million a year, right? That's going to leave us with about $30 million left. And from that standpoint, we can bring in some other players at cheaper prices, 2-year deals now, that will allow us to have some cap freed up when the likes of D'Angelo becomes available, the likes of Julius Randle's rookie contract ends, the likes of when Brandon Ingram contract is up 4 years from now. But now listen, those guys that I just named up, all our lottery picks, Jordan Clarkson, I consider him a lottery pick. I know he's a round 2, but if you read the draft, he falls in the top 14. So he's a lottery pick in my opinion. Jordan Clarkson, Randle, D'Angelo, and Brandon Ingram or Ben Simmons, those guys have to prove to us that, and they have to become all-stars. Okay, we know we have the idea that they're going to become all-stars and we're banking on them becoming superstars, but they need to show it. Right now, DeRozan is a bona fide all-star, okay? If you look at his averages, 16, 18, 20, 20 point, 20-point average, and now he's at 24, 5 and 5 basically, right? He's 26 years old. We signed him to a 5-year deal. He's at the peak of his game. Remember, Michael Jordan started his second half of his career at age 32, right? So we still have a good 5 years to get DeRozan at a shooting guard, 6'7" shooting guard, somebody that scores the basketball, somebody that can get to the free throw line 8 to 10 times a game, and or shoot 8 to 10 free throws a game, that is. And somebody that likes to shoot the ball, somebody that's going to improve on his shot. I know somebody, we knock his shot a lot, but his shot's not broken. And the fact that he likes to shoot, the fact that he's growing into a nice player where you're going to see his shot improve and his percentage improve over the years. But right now he's putting up 30 points here and there. Just the other day against the Cavs in the playoffs, he scored 32 points, shot 50%, right? So he's that type of player. He will be great for us because we bring him in as the one and only solid all-star player that we have right now. Somebody that is a veteran, somebody that's 26 years old. He's mature. He's kind of crafted his game over the years, and now we need other guys to kind of mold into what he has become. And that will help our other guys kind of mold into players. Now listen, if our guys become all-stars, if D'Angelo becomes an all-star, if Julius becomes an all-star, if Brandon Ingram becomes an all-star, I like Jordan Clarkson off the bench, by the way. I would have him be like a sixth man, and have him be the sixth man of the year. I don't care. If those guys become all-stars, then guess what? That's a good problem to have. That's like, okay, that's like what you have in Golden State, right? When you have 4 perennial all-stars or 3 all-stars like in Draymond, Steph, and Clay. And then you got Harrison Barnes and Iguodala out there trying to get money as well. Guess what? That's a good problem to have. If it ever comes to that, in the next 2-3 years that we have that problem, guess what? We're winning 55 games, and that means we're in the Western Conference Finals. Okay, so I'm not mad at that situation. Let that situation happen, but I'm not going to pass up on a DeRozan expecting that to happen just with our young guys. No, I'd rather be competitive now, get DeRozan in at shooting guard. Now that Kobe is gone, he'll be a great shooting guard for us, and we ball out and let our guys ball out and learn from there. But let's look at the stats. DeRozan's not a max player. All right, last year he averaged 24 points. 24, 4, 5, and 4, something like that. 24, 4, and 5, something like that. Okay? He was the 8th highest player in terms of scoring. Now, in front of him, look, you got Westbrook, superstar. Anthony Davis, superstar. Lillard, superstar. LeBron, superstar. Cousins, superstar. Durant, Harden, and Steph. You got superstar players in front of him. Right behind him, you got another superstar player. Paul George averaged 23 points, slightly below DeRozan. We know that Paul George is a bona fide superstar, two-way player. DeRozan is right there. He's right there. 6'7". He's not as good as a defender as Paul George, but he's right there in terms of scoring, in terms of size, in terms of athleticism, in terms of, and he has okay defense. But my point is, he is worth $20 to $25 million a year. With the rising cap, you're looking at the players right now that are getting $16, $17 million a year, $18 million a year. That's now the new 22, 23, 24, 25, okay? And that is DeRozan. So based on the stats, based on the market rate, based on all that stuff, he is worth that money, regardless if you agree with it or not. And I think having him on the roster is only going to make us competitive, and it's going to put us in a great spot. Like I said, let D'Angelo become a superstar. Let Randall become an all-star. Let Brandon Ingram become an all-star. That will be an amazing problem to have. Okay, if those guys become all-stars, guess what? That means we're winning 50 to 55 games, and we're back to where we need to be. And guess what? The Lakers would pay luxury tax money to keep players if we are at that problem and we are actually winning and have a chance to win a championship or go deep into the playoffs. That's my thoughts. Hit me up in the comments below. Let me know your thoughts. Thanks for commenting, liking, subscribing. Follow me on Twitter, guys, at Mike Sports Life. Talk soon. Peace.